Here's the Future Sight attack onto Sudowoodo from earlier. Down goes Sudowoodo out of this competition. Welcome to MetroMania, the ongoing 16-team Metronome double battle tournament thingamadoobery. The thing you love so much every Wednesday. Last week we said goodbye to Bonsly and Sudowoodo, Togekiss and Togepi, just far too powerful. We are going to find out who moves on to our next quarterfinal slot this week, as we have Mime Jr. and Mr. Rime taking on Wobbuffet and Wynaut. So here we go. It's a psychic type showdown with a little bit of fairy and ice thrown in between as well. Which way is this going to go? Let me know your predictions down in the comments. And then remember, don't edit your comment and go, oh, I was right. No. Leave another comment telling me if you were right or wrong. We see Spirit Shackle from the get-go from Mr. Rime. That's going to be super effective on poor little Wynaut there. Let's see how much damage it does. It's a big hit. More than half of Wynaut's max HP is gone already. Critical hit as well. Wynaut can no longer escape, but of course it can't escape anyway, so that's neither here nor there. Over to Mime Jr., I should say, who's going to go for block, which obviously is going to stop Wobbuffet from escaping. And again, no one can escape in this battle anyway, so wasted turn there. Over to Wobbuffet, who's going to fire off a Shadow Claw, another super effective Ghost-type move in this battle. Oh, Mr. Mime, Mime Jr., I should say. Wow, turnabout is fair play. And of course, Shadow Claw, critical hit. Increased critical hit ratio on that Shadow Claw, isn't it? Here's Wynaut, though, who's going to go for Poison Jab onto which of its opponents there? Onto Mr. Rime. That would have been super effective on Mime Jr., so the Mime team got really lucky there. What's going to happen next? We know Mr. Rime's going to move first, tap dancing its way through this battle. We see Smokescreen looking to lower the accuracy of Wynaut there. I mean, I would lower the accuracy of the Wobbuffet. I mean, to be fair, neither Wynaut nor Wobbuffet can hit particularly hard, although we've seen kind of the opposite of that in the previous turn. We see Retaliate from Mime Jr., though. Onto Wobbuffet there for a tiny little bit of damage there. Not a great deal, just a bit of chip damage to break away a bit of its HP. And now over to Wobbuffet. What will Wobbuffet do? He goes for Recycle, but it's not used its berry yet, so it wasted a turn. Now over to Wynaut. Wynaut is going to fire off Clear Smog. Okay, fair play. That is going to land on Mr. Rime. I'm getting so confused because we haven't included Mr. Mime, because obviously Mr. Mime is the middle of this evolutionary line. Very confusing, but yeah, Mr. Rime, that's the one. Speaking of which, Mr. Rime is about to start the next turn, and it's going to go for Fling. It's going to fling its Leper Berry at which of its opponents there? At Wobbuffet, for a tiny little bit of damage there. It was super effective, but barely did any damage. And of course, Wobbuffet is going to eat that Leper Berry and restore its PP back up to maximum. Haha, PP, very funny. Here comes Mime Jr., though, with Frenzy Plant. Let's see how much damage Frenzy Plant's going to do on Wobbuffet there. It did a decent chunk of damage. Bear in mind, this is coming from a Mime Jr. Did I say Mr. Mime again? I think I did. Mime Jr. Here's Wobbuffet, though, with Flame Charge. Going to increase its speed by one stage after hitting Mr. Rime with some super effective damage there, but not a great deal of it. There goes the speed stat up one stage. Now it's over to Wynaut with the follow-up. What's on Wynaut's mind here? Wynaut is going to go for Simple Beam and change one of its opponent's abilities to Simple. So now, not Mr. Mime. Mime Jr. no longer has soundproof. It has Simple. Good lord. If you like listening to me trip over my words, hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Here comes Mr. Rime. What's Mr. Rime going to do for us here? Mr. Rime is going to go for Astonish. Another super effective hit. Onto which opponent, though? Onto Wobbuffet, bringing it down to less than half its max HP here. This is really like anybody's game at the moment. Wobbuffet flinches. Wynaut looking to follow up. And it's going to go for Psychic. I mean, yeah, you know, use what you know, I suppose. Here's a Psychic, not very effective on Mr. Rime there. Does it get the special defense drop? It doesn't. I say it could go either way. The Wobbuffet and Wynaut team is looking a little bit worse for wear, but it's fairly even this contest so far. Here comes Mr. Rime, who's going to go for Earthquake. That's going to damage everybody on the field, though, not just the opponents. Let's see how much damage it does. Big damage to Wynaut and to Mime Jr. there. Wobbuffet not taking as much damage, of course, a little bit more defense on it. Here's Toxic Spikes from Mime Jr. for a wasted turn, but Mime Jr. and Wynaut are both in danger here. They could both potentially be knocked out, leaving their parent Pokemon to deal with two opponents. Here comes Wobbuffet, though. Wobbuffet's going to go for Wrap, avoided by Mr. Rime there. So now over to Wynaut, see if it can mount some kind of offense here. It goes for Seismic Toss, guaranteed 50 hit points of damage on which opponent? On Mime Jr., which means it is going to be knocked out there. It's all up to Mr. Rime now to try and take the first point in this contest. What's Mr. Rime going to use out of its bag of tricks here? I mean, it's not a magician, it's a tap dancer, so who even knows if it's got a bag of tricks? What is Mr. Rime going to do? It's geared up and ready. It's going to go for Rock Polish and increase its speed, but you're already the fastest thing on the field, mate. I don't know how wise that was. This is intense right now. Here comes Wobbuffet, though. Wobbuffet is going to go for Bind, avoided by Mr. Rime. Really not having much luck with these binding moves. There's Wynaut, though. Wynaut's going to go for Psycho Cut. Again, not very effective, but does have same type attack bonus behind it. Not enough to bring Mr. Rime down to less than half its max HP, even with a critical hit there. So Mr. Rime still standing in this competition with the green HP. Wobbuffet in the yellow. Wynaut in the danger zone. Here comes Mr. Rime. Mr. Rime is going to go for Flying Press. Which opponent will it land on? Flying Press onto Wynaut there for a decent chunk of damage, but just not quite enough to take out Wynaut. I say decent. Decent for a Flying Press on a Psychic type. That's what I mean. Here comes Smart Strike, though, from Wobbuffet. Super effective on the Ice type Mr. Rime. Big damage there. Mr. Rime is now looking to be in a little bit more difficult predicament there. Critical hit as well. Over to Wynaut with the follow-up. What will Wynaut do? Wynaut is going to go for Clear Smog once again. Remove any stat changes from Mr. Rime there, as well as doing a little bit of chip damage, just enough to bring Mr. Rime into the danger zone there. And now this could very well go the way of the Wobbuffet team if they really play their cards right. Mr. Rime needs to mount some offense now to take one of its opponents out. Goes for Poison Sting onto which Pokemon? Onto Wobbuffet there. Will it get the poison? It does get the poison, so Wobbuffet's on a timer. If Mr. Rime can just survive a few more turns, it could turn this battle around. Wobbuffet is ready, though. Going to go for Stomping Tantrum, and it is going to land. Is that enough to take down Mr. Rime? It's not. Mr. Rime is surviving on about 6 hit points there. Over to Wynaut, though. Wynaut's going to go for Substitute. It doesn't have enough HP to make a Substitute. Wasted turn. Wobbuffet's poison takes effect and brings it into the danger zone. This really could go either way right now. Mr. Rime has the opportunity to take this competition if it wants to. What will Mr. Rime do here? Mr. Rime is going to go for Misty Terrain. Don't know how wise that was. Preventing itself from getting status conditions and stat changes, stat drops, I suppose, but really need to be attacking at this point because we know one of the Wobbuffet or either Wobbuffet or Wynaut are going to attack at some point. What's Wobbuffet going to do here? Going to go for Drain Punch, which will be neutral on Mr. Rime, and that's enough to take it down. Round 1 goes to Wynaut and Wobbuffet, so it's that lovely time. We are momentarily going to hear from our sponsors. Hey guys, just a reminder that you can save money on the wonder that is G Fuel using code ACE. Help us out, mate. Use code ACE, help yourself out more importantly, because it gets you money off while supporting this channel. Isn't that bloody great? You get the wonderful energy formula that is G Fuel that has 0 sugar and barely any calories and a wonderful array of beautiful flavors from the fruity to the sour to some chocolatey flavors like moon pie. There's even a coffee one for people that like disgusting flavors. But yes, you can use code ACE to save money on all of them. Just, head over to gfuel.com, put code ACE in the checkout section. Bob's your uncle. You're helping yourself out, you're helping me out, and that's bloody fantastic. I really appreciate it if you do. Remember, of course, though, it is for over 18s only. Children don't need caffeine. This is a caffeinated product, therefore children don't need this product. It's for only us adults only. And of course, if you are someone that's old enough to drink it responsibly. It contains caffeine. Don't be a dickhead. Welcome back to round 2. Mr. Rime and Mime Jr. are trailing at 0 points to 1. Wynaut and Wobbuffet living large with the advantage right now. If Wynaut and Wobbuffet can take this battle, they will move on to the quarterfinals and we will go to a pride round. If Mr. Rime and Mime Jr. can get a point in this round, we'll go to a third round to determine who goes through to the quarterfinals. It's really that simple. Do you understand, yeah? Lands Wrath, though, from Mime Jr. to start this battle off. It did barely any damage, though, and I got an email. How fantastic. Look at that. Very professional. Here comes Wobbuffet, though. Wobbuffet's going to go for Moonlight and restore its HP back up to maximum. Because of course it is. Why would it not? Why not, you could say. Over to Wynaut now, though. I believe Wynaut is the last thing to move on the field. What's Wynaut going to do to start this battle off? Wynaut is going to go for Focus Energy, looking to get some critical hits. It's not a bad starting move, to be honest. If you could survive, get some critical hits, that can help you take your opponents out. This could go to a 2-0 very, very easily if Wynaut and Wobbuffet play their cards right. Over to Mr. Rime now. Failed its attack on the first turn, I believe, but now it's going to go for Wonder Room. So held items are going to lose their effects. I believe that's how Wonder Room works. No, defense and special defense stats are switched. I'm thinking of Magic Room, I think. And here we see Mime Jr. going for Focus Blast, aka Focus Miss, but it is going to land for some not very effective damage on Wynaut there. Barely any damage at all, though, unfortunately, for Wynaut. Over to Wobbuffet. What's Wobbuffet going to do in response here? Wobbuffet's going to go for Try Attack. Maybe have the opportunity to burn or paralyze or freeze its opponent. Does a good chunk of damage there to Mime Jr. No secondary effects, though. Over to Wynaut now. Wynaut will follow up with Grassy Glide, which would be a priority move if Grassy Terrain were in effect, although that wouldn't make a difference in this particular battle because... Oh, critical hit, though. There's that Focus Energy coming into play because it's from Metronome, so it can't be a priority move. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Here's Mr. Rime, though. What's Mr. Rime going to do? It must be worried about that... Oh, it's going for Shore Up with its HP full. I was going to say it must be worried about that disadvantage that it has, but no, you know what? It's fine. It's going to chill. Here's a Curse from Mime Jr. Going to slow itself down, but increase its defense, very important, and its attack stats. So that's not a bad shout at all there by Mime Jr. Certainly playing smarter than its teammate at the moment. Over to Wobbuffet now. What will Wobbuffet do in response to all of that garbage? We see Scold coming out from Wobbuffet, which is going to land on Mr. Rime there. Mr. Rime taking a little bit of damage, and the burn is in effect. That is not good for Mr. Rime right now. Hit Night now? What the hell is that? Here's Wynaut going for Low Kick, though, onto Mr. Rime there for some neutral damage. Critical hit as well once again. And there's the burn damage onto Mr. Rime from Wynaut. What's going to happen next? I have absolutely no idea. No, seriously, these battles were recorded weeks ago at the time I'm recording the voiceover. I've got literally no idea what's going on. Here's Mr. Rime, who's going to fire off a Rock Smash, maybe hoping to lower its opponent's defense. It's not going to be very effective initially. Tiny bit of chip damage to Wobbuffet. Doesn't get the defense drop, and now it's over to Mime Jr. Mime Jr., of course, is going to go for Shadow Ball, which will be super effective on Wobbuffet there. Let's see how much damage it deals. A big chunk of damage there from wait, am I saying Rime Jr., Mime Jr., or Mr. Mime? I'm losing track, mate. What on earth? Here's Confusion, though. Same type attack bonus, but resisted from Wobbuffet onto Mr. Rime there for a little bit of chip damage. And now it's Wynaut's time to shine. What will Wynaut do here? Will it choose a better move than its partner Pokemon? Goes for Swallow. It chose a worse move. Look at that. There's the burn, taking away a little bit of HP from Mr. Rime. Mr. Rime's suffering the effects of that burn right now. But it does start the next turn off. Of course, it is still the fastest thing on the field. And what is it going to do? It's going to go for Fire Blast. Will it land it? It will land the Fire Blast onto Wynaut there for some big damage, bringing Wynaut down to less than half its max HP as Wobbuffet looks to respond, must be angry, goes for Crab Hammer, Shades of Kingler onto Mime Jr. Not quite enough to drop it down to less than half its max HP, though. Unfortunate there for Wobbuffet. Over to Mime Jr., though, who goes for Eerie Spell. That is the signature move of Galarian Slowking, I believe. And it didn't do much damage at all there, but did drop some of the PP of the Metronome of Wobbuffet, for what it's worth. That is the what Eerie Spell does. Here's Acid from Wynaut, though, onto both opponents. It'll be super effective on Mime Jr., and I believe it should drop the special defense, but didn't get the special defense drop on either of its opponents. But Mr. Rime is hurt by its burn. Both Mr. Rime and Mime Jr. are at less than half max HP, so they've got to be worried. Here comes Mr. Rime, though, who's going to go for Strength Sap, which is going to lower the attack stat of Wobbuffet whilst restoring the HP of Mr. Rime, which is a great play there. That's a fantastic choice of move. So Mr. Rime's HP is going to be filled right back up. Look at that. Fantastic job. Over to Mime Jr. now, who wants to go on the offense, you would imagine. Goes for Shadow Sneak, which is an offensive move, and will be same type of... Not same type of attack bonus, it'll be super effective, I should say. Chopping away at Wobbuffet's HP, bringing it down into the yellow. Wobbuffet now needs to respond. Wobbuffet's going to go for Shockwave, an electric-type move, onto Mr. Rime for a bit of chip damage there, but not a great deal. So now it's Wynaut's turn to jump into the fray. Wynaut is going to go for Stun Spore, but it failed because clearly it tried to use it on Mr. Rime, who is suffering the effects of that burn at the end of the turn. The Wonder Room has worn off, and now we are back to defense stats and special defense stats being the normal way around. Over to Mr. Rime. Mr. Rime, though, is going to go for Poison Jab, trying to poison its opponents like it did in the previous turn. And it hits Wynaut with a good hit on that Poison Jab. Barely any damage, really. There was a good hit, but not much damage. Figure that one out. Here we see Swift from Wobbuffet, though, going to damage both its opponents there. Guaranteed hit. Barely any damage once again. These Pokemon aren't the best at damaging each other, are they? These two teams. We see Icicle Spear from Mime Jr. Going to be a multi-hit move. It does one hit. Of course, it's going to do 2 hits. That much we know for sure. We see a 3rd hit. And are we going to get the 4? We don't. We just get the trifecta there from the Icicle Spear. And now we see Wynaut looking to respond with Boom Burst. Of course, Wobbuffet's telepathy ability means it takes no damage. That's a great play. Mime Jr. not affected, though, because of soundproof, so all the damage is going to be on Mr. Rime there, although there wasn't much of it, to be fair. But the burn does bring Mr. Rime down into the yellow there, down to less than half max HP. Everyone is suffering in this battle right now, especially you, the viewer, who's having to sit through it. It is dragging on quite a bit, I must say. Here's Water Shuriken from Mr. Rime, though, onto Wynaut. We get the one hit. We know we're going to get 2 hits there. Are we getting a third? We're getting a third. Are we getting a fourth? Any advance? Nope, just 3 there. Just a trifecta once again. Over to Mime Jr. What's Mime Jr. got behind that sinister smile? It's going to go for Disable and disable the Metronome of Wynaut there, which means that Wynaut is going to have to struggle and basically struggle itself to death as we go forward in this battle, taking 25% of his max HP as recoil damage at the end of each hit. We see Poison Sting from Wobbuffet, super effective on Mime Jr. Doesn't get the poison though. Wynaut can't move because of the disable. And now, if past Liam is quite ready, I know this match is going on a bit, mate, but you need to hit the buttons. Thank you, Past Liam, for waking up. I appreciate you, my dude. Thank you for being awesome. Nice facial hair recently, by the way. And here we see Mr. Rime going for Rapid Spin. Going to increase its speed by 1 stage and do a little bit of chip damage to Wobbuffet there. But there it goes with +1 speed. Now it's over to Wobbuffet for the response. What will it do in retaliation here? Goes for Slack Off and is going to raise its HP by 50% of maximum. Great play by Wobbuffet at this stage of the game, increasing its staying power. Might have just guaranteed itself a 2-0 victory. We see Mime Jr. going for Fake Tears, though, and that's going to land on the Wobbuffet there. That is going to drop Wobbuffet's special defense by 2 stages. Wynaut has no moves left. It's going to struggle on Mr. Rime there. Barely any damage, but 25% recoil damage means that Wynaut is completely out of this round. It's over to Wobbuffet to try and destroy its 2 opponents, but it has a lot of HP on its side, and Mr. Rime is on a timer with that burn, so it is slowly but surely going to wither away, and Wobbuffet could just play the defensive, really. We see Frenzy Plant, though, from Mr. Rime onto Wobbuffet there. How much damage will Frenzy Plant deal? It's a big chunk of damage. Down goes Wobbuffet. My word. Out of nowhere, Mr. Rime takes out Wobbuffet and equalizes. Good lord. I told you, Wobbuffet, you were meant to survive. Good lord, lordy lord. That was insane. Now we're into round 3. Now it could go either way. We are, as they say, in the end game now, because one of these teams is going through to the quarterfinal, but it's just a case of who. Mr. Rime starts things off with extreme speed onto Wobbuffet there for a big chunk of damage, and Mime Jr. is going to go for Cotton Spore, which is going to reduce the speed of its opponents, I believe, by 2 stages each, if I remember correctly. Yep, down goes Wobbuffet's speed, down goes Wynaut's speed by 2 stages apiece. They're already the slowest things on the field, but now they're definitely the slowest things on the field. Wobbuffet, though, starts this battle off with Wish, which is a great play right there. Going to restore its HP in a turn or so's time. That's a fantastic play by Wobbuffet. Good, smart defensive strategy to start off with. We see Wynaut getting ready to go for Super Fang, which, if it lands, will half the HP of Mr. Rime, which is a big play right there. Mr. Rime down to half HP thanks to Wynaut. Great play with Super Fang. Good choice of move. Here we see Mr. Rime, though. Mr. Rime's going to go for Thunder Punch, maybe hoping to paralyze an opponent, and that Thunder Punch will land on Wynaut for a big chunk of damage there, and Mime Jr. is looking to respond as well. Mime Jr. is going to go for Expanding Force, which is a Psychic-type move, so it'll have same type attack bonus behind it, but unfortunately will be not very effective on Wynaut, so not much damage dealt there. Now it's over to Wobbuffet. What will Wobbuffet be doing to respond? Wobbuffet's going to go for Kinesis. I don't think that's a great play, to be honest. That lowers accuracy, right? Am I right there? Let's have a look. Down goes the accuracy of Mime Jr. I was right. Go me. Yay. Little thumbs up for Liam in the comments. And here we see Wynaut, who's going to go for First Impression, but it's not the first turn, so First Impression fails. There's the Wish coming true for Wobbuffet, restoring its HP back up to maximum. So this is anybody's game right now, although Mr. Rime, of course, isn't looking so fresh. What's it going to do to kind of to fix that problem? Going to go for Mach Punch, not very effective on Wobbuffet, but, you know, says kind of screw you, you restore your HP, I'm going to chip away at it, slowly but surely. And here we see Mime Jr., who's going to go for Drain Punch, again, not very effective, but will allow Mime Jr. to absorb a little bit of that HP that it just took off Wobbuffet, although it's not a great deal. And it was at full HP anyway, so it didn't drain anything. Should have just called it Punch. Here we see Flame Wheel from Wobbuffet, though. That could be super effective if used on Mr. Rime, but it was used on Mime Jr. Unfortunate mistake there. Not a great deal of damage dealt to Mime Jr. Would have done a lot more to Mr. Rime. But here's a Giga Impact from Wynaut onto which opponent there? Onto Mime Jr. for a big chunk of damage. This does mean, with that critical hit, it does mean that Wynaut will have to recharge next turn. But that's a big chunk of damage there. That is putting Mr. Mime... not Mr. Mime. Mime Jr. There we go. On notice. Here we see Conversion 2 by Mr. Rime. That's gonna change Mr. Rime's typing to Steel of all types. Good lord. So Mr. Rime is now a Steel type going forward, for those who, pay attention. Aurora Veil from Mime Jr. is going to fail. And now over to Wobbuffet. What's Wobbuffet going to do in response? Going to go for Takedown. Nice and simple Takedown there. Onto the Steel type, Mr. Rime there, so it's now not very effective. Little bit of recoil damage there on Wobbuffet. And good lord, the Mime team is both in the yellow, and the Wobbuffet team are both in the green. Here we see it's Mr. Rime. I'm getting so confused with these names. Fairy Wind from Mr. Rime onto Wynaut. Not a great deal of damage dealt there, but still damage nonetheless. Any damage is better than no damage. Here comes Mime Jr. with the Scratch. Very simple, old school Scratch there. Shades of Charmander from back in the day. Critical hit on Wobbuffet, but you couldn't tell by the way the HP bar moved, because it barely looked like it moved. Wobbuffet responds with Submission, which will be super effective on the now Steel type Mr. Rime. Good lord, Mr. Rime is now in the danger zone. There's the recoil damage on Wobbuffet, but over to Wynaut. So changing type was not good for Mr. Rime there. We see Gust, though, from Wynaut, which is going to land on Mime Jr. for a little bit of chip damage there as well. But Mr. Rime is not looking so fresh right now. The Wobbuffet team is looking very, very strong at the moment. Mr. Rime needs to fix that. Needs to take out an opponent ASAP. Goes for Scorching Sands, maybe hoping to land a burn on an opponent. It's a good hit there on Wynaut. Does it get the burn? It does not. Over to Mime Jr. now with the response. Mime Jr. is going to go for Disarming Voice, which will have same type attack bonus behind it. Land on both opponents as well there for a little bit of chip damage to each opponent. Any damage is better than no damage, especially when they're in the danger zone like Mr. Rime. Aurora Veil from Wobbuffet failed because, of course, the hail is not up. Guys, if you want Aurora Veil so bad, you got to put hail up. We see Crab Hammer from Wynaut onto Mime Jr. there for a big chunk of damage. Now Mime Jr. is sitting in the danger zone. This is really looking like it's all Wobbuffet right now. Mr. Rime, though, maybe looking to capitalize now. Maybe looking to respond. Goes for Trick Room, which means that Wynaut and Wobbuffet will not only move at the end of this turn before they'll now move at the start of the next turn. So you've screwed yourself there, guys. Here's a rollout from Wynaut, which is going to land on Mime Jr. there for a little bit of damage, but that's going to get more powerful each turn that goes by. Good lord, I'm hungry. We see Roar from Wobbuffet. Fails because of Mime Jr.'s soundproof, but also would have failed anyway because you can't be roared in this particular type of battle. We see super effective Crunch from Mime Jr. though. Onto Wynaut, maybe looking to put a stop to that rollout. Not quite enough damage though. Down goes Wynaut's defense. Wynaut's a sitting duck right now, locked into rollout. Wobbuffet still sitting pretty. Must be the Lippy that's doing it. And we see Wynaut starting off the next turn with a rollout. It's enough to take down Mime Jr. Mr. Rime has to take out that Wynaut ASAP, because unless that Wynaut misses on the next turn, Mr. Rime is going to be in trouble. Here comes Wobbuffet, though, with a Stun Spore, and it's going to land and paralyze Mr. Rime. So that Trick Room really screwed Mr. Rime. Mr. Rime is going to be in a lot of trouble now. It's ignoring the paralysis right now, though. What will Mr. Rime do? It's going to go for Fire Blast. If it's not landing on that Wynaut, then Mr. Rime's in trouble. It lands on Wobbuffet. That may have been a mistake right there. Wobbuffet is burned, so is going to suffer burn damage at the end of each turn. But is that going to be a problem for Wobbuffet, really, when Wynaut is locked into rollout and Mr. Rime is sitting at 3 hit points, I believe. Here's the rollout. Not 3, it was 33. Never mind, but that's okay. Okay, Mr. Rime is surviving, but remember, Wynaut has 2 turns of rollout left. We see Acid, but that doesn't affect Mr. Rime from Wobbuffet. Mr. Rime is fully paralyzed and can't damage Wynaut. So now Wynaut is in the 4th turn of rollout. And unless it misses, it's going to land on Mr. Rime. Will it be enough to take out Mr. Rime? It is! And Wobbuffet and Wynaut are going through to the quarterfinals. Well done to Wynaut and Wobbuffet. That was a fantastic back and forth. It dragged on a little bit. It was a long one as MetroManias go. Not a lot of damage, but Lord, they pulled it out in the end. So they go through, and in the next episode of Metromania, we're going to see who their opponents in the quarterfinals will be as Magmortar and Magby take on Htmonchan and Tyrogue.
Thanks as always for watching Metromania. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Share this video with a friend. Head over to twitch.tv/AceTrainLiam to hang out with us and the whole community in our live streams. And of course, use code ACE for money off G Fuel. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. I forgot to breathe. Keep on training.